I went last night, well, my mom and I went last night to speak at BYU Idaho, and this sweet girl asked, she said, how do I get help? She was trying to protect her own anonymity, but I know her personally, and I know that she's really struggling. How do I get help? And I said, you know, time is a great healer. It doesn't go, the anxiety and the depression, it doesn't go away really fast. And the brain, it's like this slot machine upstairs, and the quarter is in that machine, and it just goes and goes and goes, and it's like, when will this ever stop? And I gotta tell you from my own experience, that 5 years, mine was more like probably 6 years before I really felt comfortable in my own skin. It was getting better as time went on, but that 6 years was like painful. In fact, I recently had an experience where I went back to my therapist because I'm still trying to figure out this whole relationship stuff. I'm setting boundaries and maintaining them and knowing that that's okay. I'm still working through some of that. So I talked to my therapist, and now it's been like 9 years, 10 years. It's been a long time. And I sat and I cried, and I said, am I ever going to get this? You know, just being frustrated with the time issue. And being patient with myself, wanting the instant gratification, wanting the feeling to go away, wanting it to abate, and it doesn't always abate. So I got to tell you that first. It doesn't always abate, even when you use coping skills. What I've learned, though, over the course of time is that it's okay. Just because the feeling doesn't go away and doesn't abate and doesn't leave, and I still get left feeling a lot of anxiety, I know I can handle it. I know how to get from point A to point B. I know how to do baby steps to get through my day and go to bed. Because a lot of times going to bed is a great answer. Get through your day, be authentic with people, as authentic as you can be, and get some sleep. It sometimes is a great recipe. So I wanted to share one of the coping skills that really helped me in the early stages of my recovery. Now, when I first went to the Center for Change, Kara, the art therapist, came up with this little box of oil pastels, and she said, you're going to use these. And I said, you're crazy, because I'm not an artist. I draw stick figures. And she gave me a blank sheet of, like it was a sketchbook kind of a thing. So I had this sketchbook and these oil pastels, and I'm going, what am I supposed to do with these? And I didn't consider myself an artist, and I still don't consider myself an artist, but in the moment, that was a great way for me to cope. There were many times, even after treatment, I still do it, when I do get very overwhelmed and I can't make sense of the words, I can't articulate the words, and so I just start drawing. I listen to James Taylor, I listen to Alison Krauss, I listen to Jason Mraz, Sarah Bareilles, I listen to people that help me to feel better, and I just start drawing whatever comes to mind. So I wanted to show you one of my art pictures. Isn't that nice? Okay, now if I were to really look at this, it looks nothing like me. Okay, that little girl at the bottom of the page looks nothing like me. That's not the point. I was at a time in my life where I was very overwhelmed, and I had clearly a lot of questions in my mind. Lots of questions. I was graduating from BYU Idaho, where I went to school, and I was supposed to go over to Chile. I wasn't sure how I was going to pay for it. There was a lot going on in my head otherwise, but these were the things that I could make sense of, and the question marks are all the other feelings that I experienced. And this is me with my nice eyelashes. But the truth is, this is kind of how it goes. You start doing some art therapy and you start drawing. And there was a time when I had just broken up with a boy, and I had just broken up with a boy, and it was very stressful, so I did some art to try and help myself get to a healthy space. I want to encourage you to do some art. In fact, why don't you post underneath this describing your art, describing your experience for us, so that we can share with each other and learn from it.